Sup, guys? Hi. Okay, welcome to the first episode of the Slate tonight. I'm here with my good friend playing around for now. Say hi.
What's good, y'all? How's it going?
Yeah, so we're just gonna chill tonight, guys. We're gonna talk about some of our most favorite films of all time. Yeah, it should be fun. Should be a good time. So, before we start, I just wanted to kind of come on here and talk about why I'm doing this tonight, because I've always kind of wanted to make a podcast talking more about film and kind of like the behind the scenes of like all that stuff that goes into it. And because I don't feel like there's enough podcasts that like truly like talk about this like the behind the scenes stuff. So yeah, that's kind of why. But other than that, let's get started. I have a pretty long list. I was just talking with my friend about like how we've both been pretty preoccupied with a bunch of stuff going on in our lives, and so I just got mine done tonight, guys. So so I was like pretty down to the wire tonight. But yeah. Um my first movie that is on my top 10 list is The Shining by Stanley Kubrick. So, have you seen that?
Shining. I don't think I have. I've heard of it though.
Yeah, it's based off a Stephen King book called The Shining, and his book is pretty different from the movie, but
hmm
Stanley Kubrick made it, and it's with like Jack Nicholson, and so like it's about him and his family move into like a haunted hotel, and then they like stay there, and then like and then he goes insane. So.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that movie. All right. One thing about me, I'm horrible with like movie names and actor names and stuff. So it might take me a second to be like, oh yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about. But yes, The Shining, yes, classic. The one when he takes the axe and chops through the
Yes.
door, and he's
Uh
like, what's the quote?
huh. Why am I drawing a blank on this? I've seen it so many times. Oh, he says, "Here's,
Oh, here's Johnny, right?
yeah." Just he said, "Here's
Yeah.
Johnny." Yeah.
Here's Johnny. Yeah.
So,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, and I recently went back and I rewatched like all the behind the scenes in that movie, and like it's insane how much like detail they put into that movie. It's just insane. So like if you haven't seen it yet, dude, you definitely need to. So
Oh yeah, it's definitely been a while though. But
yeah.
so it's definitely a classic. You mind telling me why it's on your list of like one of the favorite movies? One of
I
your favorite?
just because it's my favorite Stanley Kubrick film that
Mm.
he did. There's a lot of like spiritual stuff in there, not like godly, but it's more like sixth sense type stuff, and like
Yeah.
and I kind of like think that's kind of cool, and just again like with the huge amount of detail like that he put into the movie, like still years after the movie was made, dude, there's like a
hmm
bunch of like there's a bunch of like Easter eggs and
Yeah,
stuff.
you can still
Yeah.
go back and analyze the movie and
Yeah, yeah.
find new things to discover, even though it's pretty old. And I do like how, like it's more, it's an older movie, it's a classic. But I think back then, what made that movie, at least in my eyes, really good is like it actually like delved into like the psyche of somebody, going down into madness. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
not many movies did that well back then.
Uh,
So
yeah.
it definitely earned its spot in one of the like top classic movies of all time because of that.
Yeah, dude, definitely. So, what's your top 10?
Okay, when I thought about top 10 movies, when you asked me, the first movie that came to mind is probably the movie that I'd say like closely defines me. I could see myself, or like if my life was a movie, kind of. It'd be Scott Pilgrim versus the World, yeah. Scott
Dude.
Pilgrim versus the World, bro. Like, That is
That's
the
such a good
definition of
movie.
me, bro. Like video games mixed with like all my old humor, and it's got like a group of friends, lovable loser hero. Like I love that. It's got romance in it. I love action combined with romance. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not big on just romantic movies, but tie a little bit of that into the action, and it doesn't take itself too seriously. The references in that movie, all like the Zelda references, the Sonic stuff,
Yeah.
it's perfect. Timing, comedic timing, and everything was so great.
Yeah.
Like it just hit
Jeez.
on
Like,
everything that I like as a movie in movies.
yeah, and like I really like that one too. And then, like man, I would put that on my top 10, but like there's so many movies. Like that's the problem I had, was like trying to condense like all my favorites down into like top
Hmm.
10. So like I had to constantly like I had to like be very like strict with which ones I felt would be in the top 10. But yeah, Scott Pilgrim is definitely like in my top like 20. So,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
and let alone movie. Other than the movie, it's one of my favorite franchises of all time. Like
Yeah.
I've got all the graphic novels. I've watched the animated series over and over on Netflix that came out. It was a couple years ago or something. But
Hmm.
yeah, the movie.
Yeah.
I remember me and my old roommate had it on repeat for like months, just in the background. As we were going about our days. It was great. And I
That's
remember going
crazy.
to the theater to see it, and I had no idea what it was. Like, I think we just randomly picked a movie while we were out there
Yeah.
that night. And he was like, "Oh, yeah, Michael Cera, I know him. Yeah, let's go see it." And I was just surprised and blown away and hooked, like,
Yeah.
from the first 5 minutes. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
And just to kind of take a detour, is that I don't know if you've seen the new Wes Anderson movie that Michael Cera was in. I can't remember the name of it, but oh, it was it was called the Phoenician Scheme, and he played such an awesome part in that. You definitely need to go check that out, because he is like phenomenal in that movie. So but yeah, I remember when that movie came out, I was like in high school, and I didn't really like know much about it too, but then I saw it and I thought it was just fantastic. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I can't remember I can't remember who like made the film though. Was that the Coen brothers, or was that somebody else?
I'm not too sure.
Here, let me
Like I
check real
said, I'm
quick.
bad with like director names and
Yeah,
stuff.
let me check.
But yeah, like if I ever, got a, like, I guess it wouldn't be an autobiography, but if a movie was ever made about my life, I would like for it to be just like
Okay.
that.
So it was made by Edgar Wright. So
Edgar Wright?
yeah,
Okay.
he's the same guy who made Shaun of the Dead, Baby Driver. He made Hot
Nice. I
Fuzz.
do. I love those movies. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are some of my other, well, they're not on the list, but some of my other favorite movies.
Uh-huh. Yeah, man.
Especially Shaun of the Dead. That almost made it
Oh
on
my
here.
gosh. That is like my favorite horror film of like all time. So, yeah. Um, and I just wanted to say hi to my friend Wendy Girl tonight. Thank you so much for being here. That means so much to me. I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah,
Um,
what's up, Wendy girl?
and if you have any of your favorite films, please list them off in the comments. Um, all right. So my next pick for number 9, and so like I said, I really had to like be very strict with like what I decided was gonna go in the top 10. So on my number 9 pick is Rear Window by Alfred Hitchcock.
Okay, Rear Window. I haven't heard
Yeah.
of that one, I don't think.
And I really love this movie because it's all about the perspective of a man who's just looking outside his backdoor window, and he's kind of like spying on all his neighbors, and he finds out like somebody killed somebody, and then like he needs to solve like who killed then he needs to solve who killed who. So Yeah.
Okay, kind of like a suspense thriller or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Hmm.
And it's just the fact that it's all like filmed with him just like spying on people. I think that's just such a cool idea. So,
Oh, is it one of those movies that's shot like all in one like room or?
yeah, it's not like shot in all in one room, but it's like it's just showing him like it's showing him kind of like keeping an eye on everybody outside. So yeah.
Mhm.
And and I and there are a lot of Hitchcock films I like, but I think that's my number one favorite pick.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to see that sometime.
Yeah.
Rear Window.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um but yeah, it's just so good. It and like it's a bit old, but it still is like so intense because eventually someone finds out that he's like been spying on people, and then yeah, I'm not gonna spoil the ending, but yeah,
Okay.
like it's just such a good film. So
Yeah. And then Wendy Girl said that she likes The Shining,
mhm.
Halloween 1, and all the Conjuring movies. Oh,
Oh
yeah, I like the
yeah,
Conjuring movies too. And
yeah.
yeah, we're talking about The Shining. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I wish there were like more horror movies on my list. And so I'll do a episode, Wendy, where I'm talking more about horror films in general. But I wouldn't call this movie a horror movie. I mean, it kind of is because there's a lot of drama and there's a lot of like suspense. But yeah, I'll make sure to do that in the future. All right, man.
Ooh. And
What is your next pick?
while we're on the topic real quick, what's your favorite genre of movie?
Right now, it's gonna be horror because of the spooky vibes going
Hmm.
on, and just I'm currently been working on two horror films now, so I'm kind of like all wrapped up in that.
All in
So
the spooky
yeah,
season. Okay, nice, nice.
yeah. So that would have to be probably my favorite genre. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So yeah, my next film is all right, good old classic, y'all. Everybody got something to say about this movie. Pulp Fiction, baby. Pulp
Yes.
Fiction, yeah.
I'm so
So
glad
on
a Quentin Tarantino movie's on your list, man. That's great.
yes, on a lot of people's lists, but when I saw this when I was younger, I think the first time I seen it, I ain't understanding. I ain't know what was going on. But then I rewatched it again when I was a teenager, and then it hit me. Something that stuck with me. The way it was shot, the way it was filmed, the ensemble cast, how all their lives intertwine in different ways. And
Hmm.
the more I watched the movie, the more I understood it and the more I could put it together. And it was one of the first movies that I watched like that. That was like, watched it once and I was like, hold on, there's something there. Watch it again, understand it more. Watch it again, and I'm like, oh, that's because, and she did this, oh, and he,
Yeah.
so it was one of the first experiences watching a movie where each watch became more enjoyable for me. And then, of course, it's got the great cast, the great acting. Love Samuel L. Jackson, John
Oh yeah.
Travolta. Like such a good movie for back then. And then the classic. I love the '80s vibes.
Yeah, man. Like Quentin's so good about like showing exact time periods in his movies too. Like I was rewatching some of his grindhouse films he did, like he did Death Proof and he did Planet Terror with
Those almost
yeah.
made the list too. Yep.
Yeah. And that's what I love about Pulp Fiction is it's such a movie like of its time as well. Like yeah, like it's definitely just I think it's my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie that he did. Sadly, it's not on my list, but but yeah, like dude, like that movie is just so insanely good, and I was like rewatching all of the behind the scenes of that a couple days ago too, And I don't know if you knew this, but Pulp Fiction was one of the first movies that someone made that way, where like the whole movie was like not in chronological order. So like
Yeah,
yeah, so you have all those different story parts throughout the movie, and then they all kind of come together at the end. So
yeah, I love that.
yeah. Um and I heard in a behind the scenes thing where he was talking, he said that he didn't have Bruce Willis involved until the very end. So like since Quentin was still very new like in Hollywood, nobody like really knew like who he was like quite yet. Like I mean like a lot
Hmm.
of people knew him but they didn't like know him. So eventually I think what happened was Bruce Willis eventually found out through a friend of his that Quentin was making the movie, and he was such a fan of him that he signed on like days before. So,
That's cool. And yeah, thinking back on that, like you can tell with the way the movie's shot and which scenes he's in and who he's interacting with and stuff.
yeah. Um, but yeah, and kind of like I said before, like I would have had that on my top 10. That's definitely like in my top 15. So, but yeah.
Nice.
All right. Wendy girl, what do you think of Pulp Fiction? Are you a fan of Quentin Tarantino too? Uh, Let us both know down in the chat. Okay, so my number 8 pick is Blade Runner by Ridley Scott.
Oh, nice, nice pick.
Yeah, dude, like I went back and I rewatched this a couple months ago, and I forgot how good this movie is. So, I watched it when I was like a kid with my dad, and I like remember parts of it. I didn't remember the whole movie, and I just love this movie because I watched a lot of behind the scenes of Ridley Scott talking about how when this came out, the movie was vastly different from how it's cut today, because all the DVDs and all the Blu-rays have a lot of stuff that he put back in the movie that the studio
Mm.
told him to take out.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's why, like, when this movie came out, there were some scenes the studio thought was too much, or they thought it didn't make sense, and they told him that he had to cut it out. But then years later, once like the Blu-ray came out, that's when he put all that stuff back in. Um, so that's why it's on my top 10, because I think that was a bold move for him to do, because
Yeah.
yeah, I know like when you're trying to get films made, and then the one thing I hate is when like the studios get too much involved and then they like
You have to
tell
sacrifice your
yeah,
artistic integrity,
yeah, kind of like all that stuff. So,
censoring your original artwork.
uh-huh. Yeah. Wendy, you've never seen Pulp Fiction? How dare you?
Oh, really?
That's such a good movie, Wendy. You definitely need to watch that tonight. Oh my goodness. That's such a
Oh
good
yeah, you gotta
movie.
check that out.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So, what's your next pick, dude?
Let's see. My next pick, I've got Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, yeah.
Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead is so
So
good.
I almost put, what was the original zombie movie? The first one? Oh wait, no, wasn't it called Dawn of the Dead
No, the
too?
first one was Night of the
Night of
Living
the Living
Dead.
Dead. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So I almost put that one on, but I wanted to put was it George A. Romero's? Hey, I remember somebody's name. But yeah, George A.
Yeah.
Romero. It's kind of hard to not know his name. He's like the
Yeah.
father of freaking zombie movies.
Oh, yeah,
But
definitely.
the I forget what year, but the Dawn of the Dead. I guess was it the remake, but the one when they're all in the mall. That one.
That is the second one he made, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna check this on my phone while you're talking so I can see what order they're in, because there's like a ton of them. So
But yeah, that one, it's on my list just because I like zombie movies. Like I said before, I almost put Shaun of the Dead on my list, but I had to go with Dawn of the Dead because I think that was the first zombie movie that, like, got me hooked on the whole zombie genre.
Yeah.
And that is the classic zombie movie. If you've never seen any zombie movies, you need to watch that one. It has all, like, that's where most of the zombie movie tropes that you see in, like, video games, anime, TV, the whole
Mm-hmm.
Walking Dead. That's where they got all that stuff from. Was from
Yeah.
Dawn of the Dead.
Uh-huh.
I almost put Night of the Living Dead on there too, but because that was the first. I'm not sure on this, but it's like one of the earlier movies to
Yeah.
delve into, like, how humans react when it comes to an apocalyptic situation. It got
Well,
more into the human psyche.
Well, here's the thing. So I've done a lot of research on this topic, and I think I know what you're trying to say. So, like, are you saying that Night of the Living Dead was the first zombie movie? Basically, is that what you're trying to say? Is because there was a zombie movie that came before it, but it's not very well known. But in that movie, they really weren't like classic zombies, so people don't really put that as the first. So yeah, technically, Night of the Living Dead is the first zombie film. Um, and I was actually gonna watch Dawn of the Dead yesterday, but
Oh,
I
really?
couldn't. Yeah, um because it's not on streaming right now. Like I don't know why, but like all his movies are on streaming, but that one.
Oh,
So
dang.
yeah, so I definitely will probably go check it out soon. I'll probably like get it on like DVD probably. So
Also, quick question before we move on: have you
sure.
ever seen Dead Alive?
Dead Alive. Is that the
Yeah.
one by Peter Jackson?
I think so. I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah, 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 yeah. Actually, yep.
Okay, so I have not seen it, but I've heard fantastic things about that movie.
Oh my
So,
god,
yeah,
so over the top, so
that's
over the
what
top.
people
Definitely
say.
see it and let me know what you think.
Dude, that's
I
what
think it
people
held
have
the
told me.
record. Yeah, I think it held the record for most blood ever
Oh
used
my
in
gosh.
a movie. Yeah, most fake
Yeah.
blood ever used in a movie. But yeah, and the scene that it happens in is just so over the top. Like,
Hmm.
but yeah, check it out one day and let me know what you think.
Well, I'm gonna definitely check it out like either tonight or tomorrow because like dude, I've had so many film friends tell me I need to watch that movie
Yeah,
and then I
if
was
you're a
going
film
to.
guy, yeah, check that out for sure.
Yeah, like I was definitely going to, but I forgot the name of it. I'm so glad you like reminded me tonight. So,
It's got two names too. One's Dead Alive, and the other one's like, I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, I heard that too. There's like there's a American release and then there's like a foreign version that has a different
Yeah.
name or something like that.
Hmm.
But this is a little bit off topic before I go to the next movie is that this one was also made by Peter Jackson. It's called The Frighteners and it has Michael J. Fox and that's a really cool like supernatural horror movie he made. So if you haven't seen that, you definitely should. So
The Frighteners. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I'll check that out too.
cool, cool. All right. So Wendy girl, how are you doing tonight? Uh, she says we're talking about favorite movies of all time. Mine has always been The Lord of the Rings. That movie is hard to
Oh,
top for me.
nice.
Yes. Yeah, Lord of the Rings is really good. Let me tell you a quick story. When those movies came out, dude, I was still pretty young and I was still pretty scared of things. And so my dad took me to go see the first one, and I got scared so freaking bad when that big troll comes out and they're like battling the troll inside the cave.
Hmm.
Uh before like um um before they have the scene where like he says like "you shall not pass" and like all that stuff. And so I
Yeah.
got so freaking scared that my dad had to like just like he had to like calm me down, and then I had to go home because it got too scary for me. But then so a couple years after that, the Twin Towers came out. And so that's the second film in the franchise. And I distinctly remember my dad came to me that night, and he was going out with a bunch of his friends, and he was like inviting me to come, and I like flat out told him, no way, I'm not seeing that shit. I got so scared by the first one. So but yeah, just that eventually I did see them all, and just that I think they're great. They're not my favorite franchise, but I acknowledge like how good they are. So yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, so is it my turn to choose the next one? I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. My number 7 pick is the film is called Seven by David Fincher, and it stars Brad Pitt, and it has Morgan Freeman, and it's kind of like a noir crime drama movie, and it has
Mm.
Kevin Spacey as the bad guy, and it is just so good. Like, it's just such a deep, dark, atmospheric, like crime noir drama, and like it is so good. So yeah.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh yeah.
What happens in the movie?
So um so Brad Pitt's trying to hunt down this like madman who's like killing a bunch of people, but the bodies like represent the subtly so the bodies from the victims he kill is like the 7 deadly sins, and like
Mm.
each body is killed based off those, and Brad Pitt's like trying to find who's doing it, and then there's this big famous scene like at the end. I can't spoil it, but definitely go
Okay.
check it out. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And Wendy Girl said, I love Morgan Freeman. He's one of
Mhm.
my favorites. Me too.
Oh
Me too.
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Um, just that it's sad that he's getting older now, because I remember watching all of his films back then when I was a lot younger. But yeah, like he's definitely
Oh, yeah. Is he
on my
finally
list.
aging?
Oh yeah, yeah, dude. Definitely.
He's been old since I was a kid. Yeah.
No, but like now when he comes on talk
Getting
shows,
old.
like he's like really old, yeah.
Uh,
So yeah. Yeah, and it's sad to see that with a lot of like famous actors nowadays. I feel like we're getting to that point, dude, where like all the actors we've grown up with are getting to a point where they're like all dying off, kind of.
oh,
So,
yeah. That just means we're getting old. Old.
right? So, yeah, it's definitely kind of sad. All right, so like, what's your next choice?
All right. My next choice. Now we're hitting up my favorite genre of movie,
Hmm.
comedy.
Yes,
Austin Powers, The
yes,
Spy Who Shagged Me. Yeah.
dude,
Honestly, any one of them, but I'm gonna say The Spy Who Shagged Me.
man.
Wait. Was that the one? Wait. No.
No,
Is that the one with Beyonce? That
no,
one.
no. Beyonce was a gold member, or
Yes. Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
gold
Gold
member.
member. Yeah. What am I thinking? Gold member. Yes. Gold member. Yes. Hey, gold member.
It's so good.
But yes, that one. Anyone. But yeah, like I said, any of the Austin Powers movies. But I'm gonna say that one
Hmm.
just because shoot, they got Beyonce in it. I love Beyonce. And when I think they announced that, it just like blew my mind. I was like, what? She's gonna be in Austin Powers? So I
Right.
love the first two, and like I loved my experience with it too, because I had never seen James Bond 007. Never. So
Oh
Austin
wow.
Powers was my introduction to secret agents or secret spies and stuff. Or actually, no. When I was, he reminded me of. I don't know if you ever seen the cartoon Secret Squirrel. It's like a secret squirrel.
Yeah,
It's like
I
little
think
secret
I heard
agents
of
got
it.
gadgets and stuff. So when I saw Austin Powers, he reminded me of that cartoon I saw as a kid, and I immediately liked him. And I think I was around like young teenager, like 13, 12. I don't know, something, but like
Hmm.
perfect time for all that immature humor. And I was just getting to the point to where I was making like boob and ball jokes, and that movie was just filled with it, yo. And oh my god, like I thought he was so cool because I was
Yes.
like, bro, he's ugly, but he's getting all the ladies, bro.
Oh
Like,
hell yeah, man,
yeah,
bro! Like Windy Girl just brought up that scene with with a fat bastard when he
oh
says, "Give
yeah,
him my
get
belly."
my belly, yeah. And
Such a good
those
scene.
movies just like they made my what was I in like middle school? I had to have been, but like that
Yeah,
was the perfect time for like everybody in class was just get my belt like all the
right.
time, like that. Like we
Yeah.
didn't have memes back then. Those were our
Yeah, we
memes,
didn't have memes back then. That's a good point.
like Austin Powers was our memes. I mean, it was a whole year, and it was so much better than like the memes nowadays because the memes come and go so fast that I can't keep up. But like back then, like it was getting my belly for like a whole year.
Right.
Like everybody was in on the joke, everybody knew it. So like it was more like to get like community or something. I don't know the right word, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, totally. And like again, you're gonna be shocked that I didn't put Austin Powers on my top five, but like sacrifices had to be made. So
It's all good. There are so many movies, bro. So
yeah,
many.
and like that's the problem. That's why like dude, like it's the hardest question I get when people ask me like what is my favorite movie? I'm like, I can't pick one, dude. There's just so many. Like, bro,
I'll stop asking people what's their favorite stuff and be like, what's your most latest? Like what you been doing lately? What you like
mhm.
lately? Or like give me some of your favorites. Some of your favorites.
Yeah, yeah, because I'm like 31, dude, and I still can't choose like my like one. I cannot choose one movie that I think is like the best. I just can't do it. One time I dated this girl, and we were going out, and I went over to dinner at her parents' house one time, and so like I remember that they specifically asked me what was my favorite film, and like I couldn't respond because like I just told them, like there's so many good ones and it's just so hard to choose, and I kind of gave them like a top five of like my all-time favorites basically, but yeah, it's just way too hard for me to choose, but yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But yeah, so just to specify, you were saying Austin Powers Gold member is the movie that you chose, right? Not the
Yeah,
yeah.
that's probably the best one.
Yeah. And that's how I feel too. Like a lot of people don't like the third one very much. A lot of people either think the first one or the second one are the best. And but yeah, I
I don't know.
definitely
That one
enjoy
is
like the
good.
third
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
So,
but yeah, honestly, they're all good.
yeah.
It's one of those difficult things. I can't really rank them. But
Uh-huh. Yeah.
third one, because of Gold Member and Beyonce, yeah, that
Dude,
one
man,
edges
she
it
was
out on
so
top.
good in that movie. Like I think out of like all the females they've had in those movies, she just nailed it, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um Okay, my number six pick. I think I'm on number six. Yeah. So my sixth pick is The Sixth Sense by M. Night Shyamalan. It was
ooh,
his like
another classic.
first movie he made, and it stars Bruce Willis and it has Haley Joel Osment, and he is a kind of like a therapist or a guidance counselor, and he's like trying to help this boy understand what's going on with him because he thinks he sees dead people. So they have this like relationship where he's trying to like understand what's going on with this kid, and I can't spoil the movie because the twist in this movie is just so freaking big. So if you definitely haven't seen it, you definitely need to. So yeah.
Yeah, I saw that when I was really young. I haven't seen it recently though. I need to go
Okay,
back.
yeah. So like, do you remember how it ended?
No, I
Okay,
do.
well, I'm not
Actually,
gonna
no,
tell
no, no.
you.
I do. No, no, I
Yeah?
do. I remember now. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I remember.
But yeah, I'm not gonna spoil it for people here who have not seen the movie, but yeah, it's definitely like on my
Yeah,
top favorites. So,
that was definitely one of those movies that yeah, Wendy Girl was saying. I still remember being so shocked at the ending.
oh
It was
yeah.
wow, I didn't see that coming. Yeah, that was one of the first movies I was like,
Yeah.
what? I was not
Not
expecting that.
not only that, but like, dude, like he shot it in a way where like if you go back after you know like what's actually going on, after you
Mhm.
know the twist, like dude, if you go back and if you watch it a second time, all the scenes where he's talking to his wife totally makes sense.
Yeah.
So and it's like that detail to filmmaking where like you can watch a movie one time, but then once you learn something about the movie you didn't know before, and then you can go back and watch it again, and then the movie just is so completely different. So yeah,
Hmm.
I I I I like a lot of his movies that he's done, and just that that's always been like my top favorite one. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good pick.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Classic.
So what's your next movie?
My next one I have is Chronicle. Have you
Hmm.
seen that one?
No. But I've heard of it. I've heard good things about that movie. Can you remind me which one that is?
Yeah. Okay. So Chronicle, it's one of those movies that's shot in first person. So
Really?
it's like the
Here.
main character has a handheld camera and he's going around like filming his
Oh,
life.
that is cool.
And this is I think I've seen a couple of films like this by the time I got around to this one. But this one's different because it's a coming of age superhero movie.
Oh
Now,
yeah. I
in
think I
this one,
remember this.
and I like this one because it's really like really grounded, really down to earth. It starts off. You got three main characters. The main character is kind of like a loser, a little social outcast. His
Hmm.
cousin, which is he's more of like your regular high school guy. He's not super popular, but he ain't super nerdy or anything. And
Yeah.
then you've got oh shoot, what's that one actor's name? I'm so bad with actors' names. Um,
So I got it popped up on
shoot.
my phone. There's are you talking about Michael B. Jordan?
Michael B. Jordan. Yes, yeah, Michael B. Jordan. I think it's the first movie I saw him in too.
Yeah.
Um, Michael B. Jordan is the third main character. He's like really charismatic, like class president, super popular guy.
Mm-hmm.
So the main character's cousin invites the loser character, the main character, out to a party one night. Shows up to the party. They all interact, and they wind up leaving the party, and they see something mysterious in this hole in the ground. It's like a meteorite or something like that. The three of
Okay.
them go down there to check it out, and they all like hear something really loud. They all pass out or whatever, and wake up the next day or whatever. They're back at home, noses are bleeding and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward a day or two, and they're all recovered fine, but now they all have telekinesis. And it's very
Oh.
small levels of telekinesis at the beginning. Like, I think the loser character, the main character, he's the one that figures it out first, and he's like playing around with like little Legos and stuff, and he tells the other two about it, and they start learning and
Mm-hmm.
experiment, tossing stuff to each other, catching it, and the way they explain it is so like down to earth too, like really realistic. They say imagine it's like you having another hand and just use that. So like they're like tossing the ball to each other and they're picturing a hand in their mind and they can catch it. And then it escalates and it gets even bigger and better when they start saying like, okay, well, they meet up with the one guy and he's flying and he's like, what? How'd you do that? And he's like, jump up and catch yourself, you know? And
Oh,
I
yeah.
started picturing that in my mind and I'm like, yo, yeah, that makes so much sense, you know? So it starts they develop their powers a little bit more and it's going through their day to day
Mm-hmm.
with how it's changing them and how they're interacting in school and stuff. The popular kid takes our main guy, the loser guy, to the talent show and they do like magic tricks and stuff like that, show off. So he starts getting a little more confident, inflating his ego and stuff. Oh, and also a very cool something that's so cool in this movie that I've never seen done before, and people do not talk about it enough. Is the beginning of the movie, the main character, you're always seeing it from his perspective because he's holding a camcorder
Okay. Interesting.
as he develops his telekinesis powers, you start seeing the film in third person because he's making the camera float around
Mm,
him and feel him.
yeah.
And that progression throughout the movie is so cool. There's a scene where you see him like like the camera is in his hands and he's looking at it and then you see it zoom out slowly and then like it's up in the air and
Oh,
then
that
you
is
see
really
he's not
cool.
holding it anymore and it like zooms out. So from the rest of the movie, it's not even said, but he has cameras out there floating around him. You know what I'm saying? You have to picture it.
Yeah.
Like a evil. Or I'm sorry, I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but
No,
like
no, no.
imagine
That's fine,
somebody
dude.
floating up there in the sky with
Yeah.
powers, and he has cameras floating around him or whatever. But it continues, and I love the three characters because it defines like three character archetypes, and they
Mm,
all progress and they all go on their own little journeys through like the main character, he's like a loser at the beginning and he starts getting more popular, his ego goes to his head, he wasn't used to all the attention so he can't handle it, so he
yeah.
becomes our main villain. And that's another great thing about this movie is it's from the villain's perspective.
Right?
Like that's cool too. There aren't that many movies out there that are written very well that get you to start off thinking that, oh yeah, this guy's, we're rooting for him. I hope he gets good. Oh no, he's turning dark. Oh no, that we were rooting for the bad guy. He was the whole time. Oh, okay, that makes sense. And then the popular kid, um, I don't care. I'm gonna spoil it for you.
Okay.
The popular kid, good with all the powers and stuff like that. Our main character kills him. He takes him out.
Dang.
Boom. And he was the best with his power, or he was like second best, or they were pretty much even with their powers. They could both fly and use them really well. He was the only one that could take him down. So now it's the loser character that's the strongest, and his cousin that he doesn't even use his powers really. And they wound up having a Superman fight at the end, and it gets epic, tragic, awesome. Like
Yeah, yeah.
it's great movie. That's one of the best
You know
movies.
what that
That's
sounds
definitely one of
like
my
though?
favorites.
Is it sounds like that movie called Shazam. I don't know. You seen that?
Shazam. I haven't. I haven't. I
Yeah.
haven't.
So,
It's a DC one, right? Yeah.
uh, I I
The
think it's
kid
Marvel,
superhero.
right? I'm so bad with superhero movies here. Let me check
Yeah,
real
I
quick.
know. I know Shazam. Yeah,
Yeah,
I just haven't
but
seen the
it's
movie.
very identical to like what you said about Chronicle, where like you have these young kids who get these powers and they don't really know how to handle them because they're so young, and then someone's a good guy, someone turns out to be a bad guy, that
Mhm.
type of thing. So yeah, I
I
just
love I love exploring
yeah.
that growth, that journey.
Right. Yeah, I just would like to say hi to my friend Tay. So yeah, man, we're here. I'm here with my friend playing around for now. Tonight
Hey,
we're
what's up,
talking
Tim?
about our top 10 favorite movies. You are welcome to chat and to list your favorite films here tonight as well. Um, we are on I think we're on top 5 right now, aren't we? Was that yeah, I think we're on top 5 or we're getting to it. So my top 5 pick would be Back to the Future. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, man.
Classic.
Yeah, Back to the Future. Man, I can go on and on and on about this movie, but I'm not because I've talked about it so much to so many of my friends. But I don't think that movie needs a I don't think it needs a introduction. I think we all know it. I think we've all seen that movie. Um, but yeah, the one thing I really really love about this movie is the script. Um, the script for that movie has gone down as the best script ever made because it's just so well thought out, and that's why I think I love that movie so much is that how they structured everything in the movie and how it all comes together. I think it's definitely deserving of
Just
one of the
for
best films of all time.
just for context, give us a quick rundown of the story.
Sure. So yeah, you have this kid and he's kind of a nerd and he's in high school and so what ends up happening is that he has this weird relationship with this mad scientist Doc Brown, and he invents a time machine out of a DeLorean. and and so he travels back in time, and he kind of gets stuck there, and a lot of shenanigans ensue, and he's having to confront his parents from when they were around his age, and so he needs to um prevent him from disappearing in time, so he has to get him to go out and go to the under the sea dance or something, and then he comes back and he saves the day. And I know I just made a really quick rundown of that movie, but yeah, I think the script in that movie is just fantastic. So
Oh yeah, it's
yeah,
such a good movie. I love how they play around with the tropes of like
yeah.
time travel and trying to keep the timeline intact so it
Hmm.
doesn't mess with the future. But yeah, it's cool. Good
Yeah,
movie.
yeah. And I love the filmmaker of that movie, Robert Zemeckis. He's made so many awesome movies, and but I think that is my favorite one that he's made. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It makes me I'm still upset we don't have those hoverboards yet.
Right? Oh man, we still don't have them. But I will say we got pretty darn close when they came out a couple years ago, and they had the two wheels on them, and then everyone was riding those things through the malls and stuff. So
Oh, I forgot about those. That
oh
was
my
a in
gosh,
and out fad. That's crazy.
those were those were so funny. Um, yeah, man, that was a time to be alive for sure. But um, yeah. So, what's your top 5 movie, dude?
Let's see. All right. So this one is a nice guilty pleasure of mine. We got Dragon Ball Z
Ah,
Super Broly. The
yes,
Broly movie. I've
dude.
always been a huge fan of DBZ ever since
Yeah.
Tsunami days back on Cartoon Network. Dragon Ball, the original Dragon Ball. I didn't really watch GT that much, but then we got Super, and all I wanted for so long was like I remember wishing for it. I remember telling my friend about it. I was like, bro, I wish they would just make a whole movie of just one intense fight. Just
Yeah.
all the whole movie. And Dragon Ball Super Broly was that, bro. It was that. You come in and it's so well animated and oh, it's got all the favorite characters. It's just a guilty pleasure, dog. It's
Yeah.
you come in and it's like maybe 10, maybe 15 minutes of setup and dialogue, and then boom is on. We got Broly versus Vegeta fighting. You got that warm up too. It's just how a Dragon Ball fight should go. You got Vegeta fighting against him, and then once he can't take him, you got Goku stepping it up,
Hmm.
turning up the heat, and then midway through, they had to peel out, have some story moments, and then you combine and you got the return of what was it, Gogeta or whichever one. I always get them mixed up, but the one that didn't appear in the actual anime.
Hmm.
So all the fans are flipping out about that, and bro, it goes ham. The animators went off. Whoever was doing like somebody had been doing like motion cap for these characters in there because the way they're moving is way too fluid,
Oh yeah, yeah,
compared to
definitely.
like the anime and the other movies. And
I.
it's just like a nice blend of traditional animation,
Hmm.
with the cell shading, the CGI, and it just blends seamlessly. It's just what an anime Dragon Ball fan
Right,
wants, and they
dude.
gave it to us.
Bro, like, you have no idea. Like, back in the day, like, when I was, like, real young in elementary school, when that was on Toonami, man, everybody was talking about Dragon Ball Z. Like, bro, you cannot go a day without hearing someone talking about that show. And I had so many, like, sleepovers with my friends, and, like, we would be watching just tons of Dragon Ball Z late into the night, and like, yeah, dude, that's
Oh
like
yeah.
one of the best. It just, it's so good. So yeah, definitely. And you know what? I've heard you talk about Tsunami a couple of times when like we've talked before, and like I knew when I was gonna invite you on this show, I knew the first thing that came in my mind is like he's gonna have Dragon Ball Z somewhere on his list. So,
I have mentioned Tsunami before. I
yes,
remember
you
you saying
have,
something. You were like, yeah, you can put anime on there if you want. You can put cartoons on
bro.
there. I was
Yeah,
like,
because
he's
I
expecting me to put a bunch of cartoons and anime on here, isn't he?
kinda, yeah, yeah.
Actually, I gotta say, my list. I got down to the end, and I was like, I need to put, I need to put a cartoon on here.
Right, right. Um, yeah, Tay. Yeah, man. Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, just that we hope that you're a big fan of Dragon Ball Z too. You just said you seem like a type of guy that would enjoy Dragon Ball Z. So,
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
so my four pick is Psycho, by Alfred Hitchcock. So it's the second movie on my list that is from Alfred Hitchcock. I recently went back and I watched a biopic of like of him making this movie, and like, to put this into perspective for people nowadays, when this movie came out in 1960, this movie was like all the rage. Like, just that people were so shocked by this movie because not only does it kill off the lead character within like the first 10 minutes of the movie, which was like unheard of back then. But it was very like risque for the time, but which is like so intriguing because they were doing shots like showing partial nudity and stuff, which was like very unheard of. And so when this movie came out, everyone was dying to go and check it out because it was so like not for the times. And
Mhm.
you know, I can do a whole technical breakdown of like how this movie is just so well crafted and it's so well made. But I think what I really like about this movie is that even in today's times, you can go back and rewatch this movie and it's so relatable. And it's like that's why I enjoy this movie so much is that like I don't know how many years it's been since this movie came out. It's been a ridiculously long time. But
Yeah, I
like
don't think I've seen this one. What goes down in it?
yeah. So basically there's this girl kind of on the run and she stole a bunch of money that like wasn't hers. And so she has to pull over for the night. She pulls over at this shady motel called the Bates Motel. And there's this caretaker there named Norman Bates. And he kills her. And
Hmm.
so like the cops are like after her and they're trying to like investigate and trying to find out who killed who but there's this huge twist ending at the end. I'm not going to spoil it because it's such an iconic twist ending. But yeah, it is like I think it is his best movie that he's made. Um and just like I said, like I go back and I rewatch this now, and it doesn't feel like an old movie. Like you know how you go back and you watch old movies and they feel old. Well, this one
Hmm.
doesn't feel old, and it's like that's what I love about this movie so much. It's not only like was this movie such not only was this like hugely groundbreaking for the time and it was like doing things that Hollywood didn't do honestly until this movie came out, but the fact that it's been so many years since then and people can still go back and they can rewatch this movie and it just still holds up today. So
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, I love movies like that.
Yeah, man, definitely.
Stand the test of time.
Oh yeah. So Um, yeah, I just think it's just fantastic, man. But okay, what's your number four pick?
All right, next
Mm-hmm.
pick. And again, these aren't in any particular order for me.
Uh-huh.
But my pick is I got me a wild card. This movie. I don't know why, but I've always held it near and dear to my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh man, that was gonna be
You
on my
seen it?
list too. Yeah, bro. Of course.
Little Shop of Horrors, bro. I never, I don't go
Oh my
around
god.
touting that I'm a musical fan or anything, bro. But
It's such a good
hey, what's up,
movie.
Miss Garcia? How you doing?
Hi, Miss Garcia. Nice to see you.
But I mean, we got the big talking plant with all the personality.
Yeah.
We got the crazy doctor. I think I'm starting to see a pattern. We got another loser hero main character,
Yeah, good old
trying to
Rick
win the,
Moranis.
yeah,
Oh my
trying
god.
to win the
He's so
girl.
good in this.
The songs were so good. They're so catchy. They're stuck in my head still
Right?
decades later. Decades, I'll pull them up every once in a while on YouTube and just like, listen to them and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't know. I like how it was I don't know. I'm not very familiar with like I guess it was a stage play or musical or
Yeah, they
something.
made a
And then they
musical. Uh-huh.
and then they adapted it, or I guess they used to do that in theaters all the time,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and then they adapted it into film.
Mm-hmm.
um Shoot, I used to watch Martin all the time, and it's got freaking Gina and Pam in it
Right?
from
Yeah.
Martin. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with that television show, but it's
I
got
kind
them
of
in
am.
it.
Yeah.
And then, I rewatched it again I think I was like teenager, and I was like, "Oh, that's them! No, yo, they've been together for forever
Right?
doing this kind of stuff. Nice, nice, that's neat." But yeah, it's good, and I kind of liked I think I briefly mentioned something earlier about movies that you could tell it's all set or it's all shot in like one room or like
Uh-huh,
one
yeah.
set or
And like,
something like that. I don't know
yeah.
why, but I just personally like that. I'm like, oh, they did it all right there. That's kind of cool.
I actually
I don't
know a
know
lot of the
if that's
behind
good
the
or not.
scenes of that movie. So,
Oh, really?
I was watching. So, okay, I'll start with a
I
fun
love the
fact.
Martin Halloween episode.
Yeah.
Nice. Me too. That was
By the
good.
way, Miss Garcia, nice to see you. Thank you for calling us, gentlemen. That was
Yes,
so
thank
kind
you.
of you. So I was watching the making of the movie Aliens last night, and it's funny.
Mhm.
They shot that movie around the same time they were making this movie you're talking about, and they mentioned that there was one scene they shot where someone fired something from a cannon and it went blasting through the sound stages all the way through to where they were filming Little Shop of Horrors.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
and it like kind of like ruined like one of the takes they were doing with the big plant thing. So, um,
oh, that's cool.
right? And so I was actually in a high school play of this movie. We did a high school production of Little Shop of Horrors in high school. And I was a background person. I wasn't like one of the main characters, but I was like moving the props and the sets around while they were doing their thing with like the talking plant and all that stuff. So, um, yeah, that movie has always been like one of my favorites, and I have to say, that is my favorite performance I have ever seen Steve Martin do, where he plays like the evil dentist character. Oh my god.
Yeah.
He just said you could tell he was having such a good time playing that character.
Yeah.
And then I was like traumatized my whole life going to the dentist after that. So,
Oh, yeah. I think you scared me from the dentist for a little bit too.
right.
Yeah.
So
I hate the
yeah.
sound of that drill. I can't
Oh my
stand the
god.
sound.
But yeah, that is such a good movie, dude. I'm so glad you put that like on your list, bro. Such a classic.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, just so you know, the play came out before the movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I
Yeah. I
think they had the
figured
same
when I
cast.
was. Oh, really? Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I saw that movie when I was really young, and I understood that, but I didn't understand it. You know, if
Right?
that makes sense. He was like, "Is this a
Yeah.
play?
Yeah,
Like, it's
yeah, me
shot
too.
different than a regular movie. This is
Yeah.
kind of cool." You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally didn't get it like the first time I watched it. Like I was just like, why is this guy like feeding this plant a bunch of dead people?
Yeah.
Like it didn't make sense to me, but yeah. Um okay, so we're coming down to the wire, man. We're like at our top 3 right now. So so I've had to cut out a lot of great movies that you brought up today. Like you mentioned Austin Powers and you mentioned the movie you mentioned, Little Shop of Horrors. You've been talking about a lot of good movies that I just couldn't like put it in my top 10 tonight. But my third is, of course, the first Indiana Jones movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Man,
Oh, okay.
I can go on a tangent on this movie. Let me just say this. Steven Spielberg is probably my favorite movie director of all time, and there's so many reasons for that. I think he just naturally is so gifted at knowing how to move the camera, like just that, like
Mhm.
it's almost this weird feeling you get like when you watch a Steven Spielberg movie, you know it's him because he moves the camera in such a way almost like it's like a third character, and it's just so
Oh, okay.
interesting like how he like directs his movies. This was actually the first big blockbuster movie I watched when I was young, and I even wrote like a book report about Steven Spielberg and like talking about like this movie and man, like
So
I
go into a little bit more depth, because believe it or not, I've never seen it.
you never, bro.
Never seen Indiana Jones, but I mean, I'm old, so I've
Oh
heard of
my
it.
goodness,
I know
guys.
all the
Chat. You
scenes.
need to throw some fire emojis in the chat right now.
I know he's famous for, being an adventurer and
Yeah.
stuff, but
Bro, I cannot believe you haven't seen Indiana Jones. That's wild.
no, no, tell me about it. Tell me
Okay. Dude,
what's all the
I'm
hype.
gonna give you some homework, bro. You need to watch that movie by the end of the week for sure. So,
Okay.
okay, so it's about this archaeologist, Indiana Jones, and he's like invading temples and like going to like ancient ruins and stuff, and
Hmm.
he's battling Nazis and bad guys, and like one thing he really doesn't like is he doesn't like snakes, and there's a lot of snakes in the movie. So,
Okay,
um,
so that's his little character weakness.
yeah, and
Because
so
otherwise, he's invincible.
well,
Okay.
no, he's not invincible. That's the thing I
Uh,
really love about this movie is that
okay.
they don't treat him like he's invincible. Like he's very much like a human character, and he's flawed. He's not perfect. I think he's like he very clearly has a temper issue, and he might
Okay.
be a bit of a alcoholic, but it's very much like a modern day James Bond movie. So like just imagine this guy, and he's like going to these ancient temples, and he gets all the girls, and it's
Mhm.
very much like a James Bond film. So
Okay.
type of
Okay.
thing. So, also, well, not only was it made by Steven Spielberg, but it was the idea of the director from Star Wars. He's the one who kind of pitched the idea to Steven Spielberg.
Oh,
So,
okay. Nice.
so
Nice.
yeah, definitely. Like, I cannot believe you have not seen this movie.
Oh, no.
That's crazy, dude.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, it is definitely like I think if you watch it, you'll definitely notice like what I said about like how he moves the camera. It's like
It's
it's
kind of
yeah,
like, okay, now, all right. I like that, how you're describing that to me. You're describing the the aspect from like a filmmaker's perspective.
yeah.
Yes.
W-
That gets me more excited than. Okay, all right. I'm gonna be dropping some hot takes, y'all. Be dropping some hot takes.
okay, good.
That gets me more excited than, you know, like going to watch a movie about, some adventure
Yeah.
from the, 80s, 70s or something like that.
Yeah, it takes place around like the
Yeah.
70s to 80s and stuff. Kind of like
Yeah.
World War II type of thing, but
Okay.
it's not like in
Because if you
black and
told
white.
me,
Yeah,
okay, yeah, no, because if you just told me, hey, go check out the movie, it's about an adventurer, that gets the girl and gets treasure. It's an older movie. I'd be like, eh. But tell me, like, okay, the filmmaking in that, the way he moves the
oh
camera
yeah, like
is
the
like shot
filmmaking
like
is
it's
like
an actual
monumental, dude.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me stuff like that. Because honestly, like, I ran into this problem before. This was a few years ago. Um, or I noticed this problem is Star Wars fans. They would always
Yeah.
tell people, "Hey, you've never seen Star Wars. You got to go watch the first movie." And then non-Star Wars fans would go watch the first movie and be like, "Man, why you like all this old stuff? This is trash. I'm not watching the rest of it." You know. So if you want to get or you want to get a non-Star Wars fan, or if you want to get a like someone who doesn't already like Star Wars to like Star Wars, you got to give them a different type of approach. You got to
Yeah,
say
right.
like, oh, okay, like the first one was so dope because it was the first movie to have lightsaber special effects. Imagine no movie beforehand having these kind of special effects, and bam, this is the first movie that has special effects. Then somebody that's never experienced it, when they go to watch it, they'll be
Hmm.
looking for those certain things to be like, oh, okay, wow, they were actually able to do this back then. Like it's a matter of perspective and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Um,
I like how you're telling me about Indiana Jones. So now I am interested in going in and checking it out, and I'll
So I
be
don't
looking
know if you're a
for
Star Wars fan. It sounds like you're a Star Wars fan, but yeah,
yeah.
George Lucas, who made Star Wars, was like tag teaming on this movie with Steven Spielberg.
Mhm.
So if you're a fan of him and if you like Star Wars, you definitely need to check out Indiana Jones. Like, bro, you are the
Yeah.
first person I met who has never seen that movie. So,
Now, see, I'm
um,
not a I'm not a fan of you said Steven Spielberg.
yes.
I'm not a, oh, let me go watch a Steven Spielberg movie. I'm more of a, oh, this is an adventure in space with with space
Oh,
swords.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I think we got that confused. Are you talking about the director who made Star Wars? Is that who you're talking about, or were you
Or
refer?
or you told me whatever person was involved in both.
Okay, that would be George Lucas.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So
yeah,
I'm not a, oh, I hear the name George Lucas, oh, I get excited. I get excited because Star Wars and adventure in space.
yeah,
Indiana Jones is a guy that goes on like, there ain't no space and there ain't no magic in there. That's why I haven't watched it. Like,
hmm,
it looks like a regular adventure. You know what I'm saying? That's probably also why I haven't watched James Bond. It's like a regular guy going on
yeah.
adventures. I like more. I guess I like more like fantasy-ish. Like stuff. Like if I'm gonna watch a movie, I probably want to see stuff that you can't see in real life. I guess now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I
Yeah,
don't know.
and I'm gonna go off on a tangent here and I'm gonna drop some hot takes and I'm sorry if people really don't like me for this because I've had some friends of mine get really mad at me for like what I'm about to say. So, the first thing is I kind of agree with you. I'm not big into like big fantasy films. That's why I'm sorry, Wendy Girl. I'm just not a huge fan of Lord of the Rings because it's so fanciful. And it's like I get why
Oh,
people
okay,
love
so
that.
you're the opposite. Okay, so I
Yeah.
like fantasy. I
Okay.
don't I don't particularly like. I mean, there are some movies like Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction is great, but Pulp Fiction is just regular people doing regular stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Yeah.
no like magic and stuff in that. But like but that shot so creatively that, yo,
Right.
I'm gonna watch it. But like if I when I look at Indiana Jones, the reason, I've heard everybody in my life, Indiana Jones is great. The reason I haven't been like, oh yeah, let me go watch it is because it just looked like like I if it had some magic in it or something, or if like he
No,
had
but
a,
like
I
just
don't
that
know.
you're saying like it
I'll,
just looked
I'll
kind of basic to you, right? Like
yeah,
it's just
kind
that
of.
like
But
kind of
now
like
that you're
you've seen
telling
it
me,
before. Like with what
yeah,
you were
yeah,
saying, how you weren't really interested in it until I started like talking about more of the technical filmmaking
yes.
aspects and stuff
Now
like that.
that will get me excited about it now. But
Yeah.
like just a dude going on adventures, getting the girl,
Yeah.
ain't got no magic. What's about that? I've been waiting my entire life for somebody to tell me something like you just did. Now that I'm like,
Well, that's
oh,
good.
okay, cool. Now I'll watch that movie for the way it's shot, and I'll
Not
look
only
out for
that, dude, but the first scene in this movie is like one of the best action scenes in movie history. Where he
Oh,
gets
and I'm sorry, Miss
chased.
Garcia. You said the
Oh,
never-ending story. I was going to
oh
put that on my
yeah.
list so bad. I was going to put that list on my list
Oh,
so bad.
that's such
But
a
go
good
ahead, sir.
movie too, Miss Garcia, but that movie just makes me cry. So like I
Mm.
can't watch it. It just makes me cry all the
The
time.
only
So
reason I didn't put it on my list is because I haven't seen it as an adult, but I used to watch it back to back as a kid.
yeah. Yeah, I think we all did back then. But
Yeah.
yeah, definitely watch it for the camera movements. Pay attention to the camera movements. It's really impressive how he like moves the camera. And it's very much like James Bond. It's like putting
Mm.
James Bond in like a adventure movie, but they're really like clever with like the with the humor too. So like I think
Ooh,
you'll
is
enjoy some of
there?
the jokes.
You know how Austin Powers is the equivalent to James Bond?
Yeah.
Is there a Austin Powers equivalent to Indiana Jones? I would love
Um,
that.
I
Put some
don't
comedy in
think
there.
there is yet. That's a good hot take. I don't think someone's made kind of like a comedy version of.
They
So,
should. I would watch
yeah,
that, and then I would watch that, and then I would get interested and be like, "All right, let me check out this Indiana Jones. Let me see where they get all this,
right?
yeah, all the source material from."
Yeah, like
I think that's the reason.
I feel like Austin Powers made a lot of people go watch James Bond movies.
It made me want to check out James Bond because never heard of
Yeah.
James Bond before. Thought Austin Powers was cool. I was like, okay, check out some James Bond movies. Played the N64 game, the 007 game.
Oh
Freaking
yeah.
love that.
Oh man, I love the classic Nintendo 64 007 game. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they just brought it back too, like on the Switch.
Oh yeah, I need to
Yeah,
check it
yeah,
out.
they did, bro. They did. All
But yeah, I
right,
think that's
man.
just my thing. I just haven't had a soft introduction to Indiana Jones.
Bro,
But yeah, I'll check it out now that you told me.
like you have to at least watch the first one. Dude, it is such a classic movie. Like it is so good. All right, so since we're talking about Steven Spielberg and how I just mentioned, he's probably my favorite film maker of all time. Um,
Okay.
and my second pick is for number two is Jaws, which he also made. I don't know if you've seen that. So
Yeah.
what Jaws is it's about this big shark that's attacking and it's like devouring people around the 4th of July at Cape Cod or somewhere around there, and just like hearing all the behind the scenes of this movie is just insane. Like it makes me really appreciate like how hard filmmakers go to like make a movie look so seamless. And man, Steven Spielberg had a hell of a time trying to
I
shoot
bet.
all this stuff out in the open water, and they couldn't get the shark to work. And just hearing all the technical jargon that they went through just to get this movie to look the way it does is just insane. Like Steven Spielberg thought he was going to lose his job, lose his career. I think they went like 2 years over budget.
Oh
and
wow.
and like I think the studio was just about to pull the plug on this movie until like they got it all cut, and then it came out and it was like a huge success. And it kind of goes back to what I said about Indiana Jones, how like Steven Spielberg like treats his camera almost like a third person who's like kind of like wrapped up in the whole movie too. So
Mhm.
and yeah, I just have so much respect for Steven Spielberg after hearing the total calamity that he described about like how they had to like sit around and wait for 2 hours just for certain boats to like pass by, or just to wait for like the tide to like calm down for certain shots, or like
Oh yeah, I
bro
bet that was
like
crazy.
oh, dude, it is wild some of the stories that he's gone into about like what a nightmare that was the shoot. And so like he was saying that he like in a whole day he would get like 2 shots done. So
Oh
like
wow.
yeah, just try to like imagine that. And then he thought that he was going to like lose his job and the movie was like going to fail, but you know how like there's something to like where you put a lot of hard work into something, and you hear these stories from people where they put their heart and soul into these movies, and they think no one's going to watch them or they're not going to be good, but then they turn out to be these huge successful movies, and that's really
Yeah,
kind of what Jaws was for Steven Spielberg. Like he
that's really inspiring.
yeah, and like I've been there, man. Like I'm kind of dealing with that now with like some of the movies I'm currently trying to make. Like and like I'm gonna talk about that more in like later episodes with people about what I'm personally going through making my own films. But like when I hear stories like that, it just makes me feel like I'm not the only one.
Yeah,
It's because filmmaking is so freaking tough. Like I cannot like emphasize that enough. It is like a freaking miracle just to get a movie made. Like
to get all the working
oh
parts
yeah.
in order,
Oh
all the
yeah, totally.
people, all the timing. Yeah,
Yeah, and it's just like when I hear stories like that about productions that like cast felt like they were gonna either quit or lose their jobs, or hearing like the movie was gonna fall through but it didn't, it's just so inspiring, is because I feel like a lot of the projects I made were just so tough too, and I'm like, why can't I make a movie and have it be like not this hard? And so I've gotten to the point in my career where I've just kind of accepted the fact that making all movies are like always going to be tough. So that's why it's my second spot on my list, because I just really connect to that, and I value the fact that he stuck through all that nonsense just to get the movie made. So
nice.
yeah. Yeah. So I'm sorry if I went on a bit of a tirade there, guys. I was
No,
very
no, you good.
passionate about that movie. So, um,
You see, Wendy Girl said another one of my favorite movies is The Patriot with Mel Gibson.
oh
Such a
yeah,
good movie I can rewatch over and over.
oh
Miss
yeah,
Garcia said, I saw Jaws at the drive-in years ago. Yo, I missed the drive-in. I
dude,
used to go there when I was super young. I should bring those back. Oh yeah,
bro,
Wendy Girl said I missed the drive-in too.
bro. They have a drive-in near me. Like it's not like close. It's like almost like 2 hours away. But I keep telling myself I should just drive up there and go do it. so
Yeah,
so
that'd be
yeah.
cool.
And I recently watched a documentary about drive-in movie theaters, and I shared it on my YouTube post section. So if any of you want to go check it out, it's a really, like, really good documentary about the current state of like drive-ins and drive-in movie theaters, and talking about how a lot of them are having a hard time keeping up with modern times, because a lot of them still have like film projectors, which a lot of movies are digital nowadays, so they can't like get the money to like update their projectors and stuff. And it was just very like interesting to hear all that. So definitely go check that out. But yeah, Jaws is probably my favorite Steven Spielberg movie of all time. So if you haven't seen that, definitely check that out too. But I would
Yeah,
suggest you check out
cool.
Indiana Jones though, man. So
Oh
yeah.
yeah, we'll do for sure.
All right. What's your number two pick?
Let me see. We got. Oh, we skipped my number three.
Oh,
So for number
oh yeah,
three,
yeah. Sorry,
I got another one. Another classic. Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
dude. Yes, I'm so
Love me
glad you
some
brought
Who
that movie
Framed
up.
Roger Rabbit. Had to get
Yes,
that one on my
bro.
list, especially
Hallelujah.
with like the stuff I'm doing right now. Like I don't know, kind of doing a combination of I don't know real life stuff, video games, and I'm trying to learn how to animate, man. So
Yeah,
like
dude. That's great.
that movie, that movie, and oh, that movie was more my lane because I was younger. But Cool World also was really dope.
Yeah, you're talking
But
about the
Who Framed
one
Roger
with
Rabbit?
Brad Pitt.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think so. I think it was Brad. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen that. But Who
Mm-hmm.
Framed Roger Rabbit? I watched that a little more, kid friendly. Combination of live action and animation. I'm sure was that the. I don't think that was the first time, but It was done really well. Blew the
It-
world away.
that was the first time they did it, and then
It
Cool
was
copied it. Yeah,
okay, okay.
yeah.
But yeah, this one was dope. You know, to anyone who hasn't seen it, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? It's like just like a little mystery. You know, combining live action main characters like a detective, and all the cartoons are intermingling with the humans. And what do you call that, rotoscoping or something?
Um,
That
so back then, rotoscoping wasn't really a thing yet. So what they did was they used like different like layers of like animation to like make it
mhm,
seem like it
they
was
put
all
the
seamless.
cells.
So
Yeah, the
so
cells right on
yeah,
top of the film. Dang,
yeah,
oh my goodness, that
yeah,
had to be crazy to do.
dude.
Oh my
So
goodness.
okay,
Because
so
I did
that
go to school for animation for like 2 years.
yeah, you told
And
me that.
I was going for the hand drawn animation.
Uh-huh.
So I could imagine back then with the technology that they had and their limitations, the amount of work that they had to do to make that work. As another miracle, like you were saying before, another miracle, man.
Dude, I well, first, let me just say that's the same director who made Back to the Future. Robert Zemeckis made
Nice.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Uh, Bob Hopkins was the main dude in that movie. You know, the main detective. His
Mhm.
name is Eddie Valiant. Uh, he recently died a couple years ago. And God bless him. That was probably his most famous movie that he ever did. Yeah, just the amount of animation they had to do, like, bro. So you know how there's different layers of like animation. So like,
Mhm.
so there's the basic like character design, and then there's the shading and the detail. Well, what they did was they sandwiched the shading and like the detail in between the film. So that's how they did it. So like that's how it still holds up so well today. And not only that, but they used like a bunch of like people to puppeteer real objects in the movie too. So they have this like bar scene where Daffy
Mm.
Duck
I
and
think I've
Donald
seen
Duck are
that.
like, yeah, they're like going at each other. And so they have like all these real props moving in the movie, and that's how they like made it look so real.
Yeah, and that way they got
So
them to
yeah.
actually like interact and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Ah,
Yeah.
smart, smart.
Yeah. And and also the bad guy in that movie, Judge Doom, is just like insane. Just so good. But yeah,
Yeah, the crazy
oh
eyes.
yeah. I think I heard that they spent like a total of like 4 years just animating that movie.
I
Which
believe
is
it.
nuts. 4 years, dude. Just try to put that like wrap that around your head. Like spending 4 years of your life just trying to,
I believe
yeah.
it.
Dude,
I
that's
believe
just
it.
like dude, like when I hear
Drawing the same
stories like
thing
that,
over and over. Yeah, bro.
oh my god, like bro, it's just like those. It's kind of like one of those underdog stories you hear, like when you hear like people do these incredible things, and it makes you think like, wow, like it's just like people can do so much if they just put their mind to it. Like, dude, like it's just crazy. So,
So true.
yeah. But I'm so happy that you put that on your top 10, man. It's because that's such a good movie. Yeah.
Definitely had to.
All right. So, was that your third?
Yeah.
Okay, I think you need to do your second because I think we got lost in the
Okay.
sauce there. So, yeah, what's your
All
second
right.
choice?
And then my second, I had to throw me a nice fully animated film on here. Nice Disney classic.
Oh,
I was down between two, and I leaned towards
what is it?
Aladdin.
Aladdin? Oh, that's a good
Aladdin.
one. Yeah.
Aladdin. Can you guess what the other one was going to be?
No, I can't.
Take a wild guess.
Um, the probably The Lion King.
Yes, of
Yeah.
course, it was going to be the Lion King. Yeah, but I went with Aladdin, and it was very, very close. But I think Aladdin is just a
Hmm.
little bit more whimsical, a little bit more fun. You know, you got your yeah. There's a pattern, dude. You got your loser hero, and street rat Aladdin,
Right.
and his journey about how he gets magic and magic genie. Um, shoot, what's his name?
Yeah.
I'm always forgetting actors' names, but
Oh, you're talking
the
about
genie dude.
Robin Williams, bro. Like,
Yeah, Robin Williams, so
dude,
good, so
so
good,
good in that
such an
movie.
iconic character and role in that. And it just made it fun, and
Yeah.
like the music and everything, and like Aladdin was just very lighthearted. It was, hey, you struggling? Here, you can get everything you want, homie, and you get the girl.
Right.
And there wasn't too normally movies like that where the main character relies on magic to get what he wants. Usually they end badly or learning a very hard lesson or something like
Yeah.
that. Aladdin wasn't like that. Everything turned out nice in the end,
It did.
chilling. What was the big thing in that? Oh, you weren't really a prince, but bro, you wish to be a prince, so you technically a prince. I think I remember thinking that when I was younger too. I was like, oh yeah, and then riding the magic carpet, Miss Garcia. Oh, how did I forget to mention carpet, bro? Carpet was such a good little sidekick. Same with Abu.
Oh, I love
Um,
Abu, man. I think he's my favorite character in that whole movie.
yeah. And
And
then I
then
think like Jasmine was like my first ever like cartoon crush.
oh
It was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
bruh, that boom, that's my type now.
Don't forget the
Like
parrot. Don't forget the parrot. The Mars
Iago,
parrot.
yeah,
Voiced by Guilford
Iago,
Godfrey. God bless him. What's the parent's name?
Iago,
Yes, yes. Oh my
yeah.
gosh,
Yeah, he was so good. He was
so good
so
as the
good. So
parent.
squawky, right? So iconic, bro.
But so I have a hot take for you because once you said Aladdin, I was immediately thinking, what did you think of the live action one with
Oh, that was
Will
cool. It
Smith?
was cool. It was fun. It was
Yeah,
fun. It was cool.
yeah,
Yes,
same here. Yeah, I'm
um,
glad you
I
enjoyed
like
it.
the live action Aladdin, the live action Lion King. Nah, 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 nah. It was fine, but it was missing my favorite song. And I just can't wait to be king.
Yeah,
How can you skip that, bro? But at the how was they gonna stack a bunch of realistic looking animals on top of each other, like see
right.
it just when they made that live action they took away the magic and whimsy,
Yeah, they did.
but with Aladdin they kept it, like,
Yeah,
and
yeah, they did. Like,
they made
bro,
it a little bit more modern, a little more funny,
yeah.
like it was cool, it was
Like,
a good
dude,
time.
I was going into that with my friend, and we were just going to see it to see how bad it was. But, like, we ended up loving it. Same for everyone who
Yeah,
saw it, bro. All my friends who saw it thought they did such a good job on it. So,
yeah, I did. I
um,
remember hearing a bunch of stuff online talking about it, talking negative, but like, nah, I don't
yeah,
be listening to online opinions anymore, yo.
yeah, bro,
Everybody
I
be
don't
talking
either.
crazy online, dog.
Yeah. But I'm really glad you put a Disney movie on there, man. Just that that's
Yeah.
the first Disney movie that we've had on the list for tonight. So,
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah,
yeah. I'm surprised. I'm surprised.
right?
Well, I'm not. I, I'm not that surprised. I'm not personally a huge Disney fan or anything, but I was like I said, I was getting towards the end of my list, and I was like, I don't have an animated movie,
Right?
other than
Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball,
Yeah.
Who
And
Framed Roger Rabbit.
bro, I'm so surprised you had Who Framed Roger Rabbit on there, but then once you told me you have a background in like animation, yeah, that totally makes sense. And so,
And honestly, if I could be honest
yeah,
with you, like
sure.
I'm not. mm, Like if I ever wanted to do animation or animated stuff, I wouldn't want to do like a just an animated cartoon or anything. I would love to do some Who Framed Roger Rabbit type stuff,
Yeah,
combine animation with real life, or like when I'm doing my live stream, I'm combining like video games and it's light animation, but it's
yeah,
what I can do now, you know. And I'll do some more like I'm gonna do like little shorts and stuff. I want to like animate like me going Super Saiyan or something like that. You know, just little dumb stuff like that,
yeah.
playing around.
So like I want to give you a hot take on Cool World. Like what did you think about that? Because people have very mixed feelings on that movie.
I haven't seen it as an adult, but I just
Okay.
remember I liked that aspect that it was a live action mixed with cartoons. But didn't they do? Is it is it rotoscoping where they like trace a
Yeah.
human? Yeah, yeah. Didn't they do that?
Um
I might be wrong.
Actually, I don't think they did because I actually rewatched a behind the scenes on that last week too,
Okay.
and so it was very similar to Who Framed Roger Rabbit. The only thing is,
Mhm.
the director didn't know what he wanted. That was a huge problem to begin with, but the second thing is they just told the animators that they can draw whatever they felt like. So that's why it's so like chaotic because they had like zero direction and they were just told, "Hey, you can put anything you want in this movie. We don't care." Which I think is cool.
Mhm.
I like when I heard that, I'm like, that must have been so cool for people to do where they could just put whatever
Just
they
have
felt
some
like.
fun.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I kind of watched. I haven't watched the whole thing. I think the only cool thing about that movie is the fact they got Brad Pitt. So,
Yeah, I
and
need to go back and watch it now because I can't remember anything about it except I think it had like a hot chick cartoon
yeah,
character
yeah,
as a side character. Yeah,
yeah, they do.
and
So
then
like,
Brad Pitt's the main character. Yeah,
yeah, so it's like a very adult version of like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, basically. So, which is cool. Like, and I wish more like production companies would just allow people to just do whatever they felt like, and like that's kind
yeah.
of cool. That's a cool aspect to that whole thing.
I
So,
think when I was younger, I just didn't like that one that much because it wasn't as colorful and funny
yeah,
and didn't have as many jokes as Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
yeah, definitely. All right. Well, we're like down to the end. We're down to the wire, guys. So thank you for watching all of this tonight. We're not done yet, but before we give you our number one movie picks for tonight, tell us what are your favorite movies, if you can, down in the chat. I know that's a pretty tough question, but if you can, maybe list a couple. If you can't just name one, we would love to hear them. Okay, so my top movie pick, which is really hard for me, which I still don't think this is gonna be like my final number one because that is like the end all be all question for me. And when people are like, "What is your favorite movie?" I just can't pick one. So, but
Hey, understandable.
oh yeah, so but I chose for tonight. It is The Dark Knight, directed by Christopher Nolan. So it was the second
Ooh.
Batman Begins film with the Joker with Heath Ledger, and
Mhm.
um, so for you guys, I am a huge Batman fan. Batman is my favorite like comic book superhero of all time, and this movie just holds such a strong place in my heart because this was right when I was like a freshman in high school, and I've never seen them depict Batman in such a cool way before. Like I
Yeah,
liked the first one they did, the Batman Begins, but I think the second one is just so much better because of like the Joker and like and just all that stuff. And I don't know, like I just really like how they made it. I think it's just always such a good movie. It's like one of those movies where it doesn't matter how many times I watch it, I still just enjoy it every single time. and I just love the director too. I think Christopher Nolan has done such a good job on like all of his movies that he's done since then. So yeah, that's my number one pick.
Yeah, I really like that movie too. And honestly, I like that. I get it's a theme with my favorite movies again. I love movies that I wasn't thinking of The Dark Knight. I should have put that on my list
I
too.
know.
But I love movies that go in depth with the characters, their development, and their arcs. And I love it when they do three. When they have a good
Yeah.
character, a neutral character, and an evil character. I love it
Hmm.
when the evil character starts off good, but then takes that journey down the dark path. Like, the neutral character usually has to be the one to do something, and then the other character takes the opposite path or whatever. But I love that. I wish more movies and media would go more in depth, like with
Yeah.
that.
And
It,
that's what I love about how they handled the Joker in that movie is that it kind of has that structure of what you're saying. Like they have the good guy, the bad guy, and then they have like the character arcs and all that stuff.
mhm.
Um, and I just remember like going into the movie theater around 2009, 2008. I was a freshman in high school, and like still to this day, dude, I do not remember seeing a movie theater as packed as it was for the Dark Knight
Oh
movie when
yeah,
it came out. Like, dude, there were lines, bro. There were actual lines of people just to go see that movie that whole week when that came out. Like, it was huge. And
yeah,
you just don't see that type of hype for like movies these days. Like, and it makes me sad. Like, I just remember being in that just packed movie theater and just like every seat was taken, every seat. And like, yeah, the whole thing was just such a spectacle. And like, I just don't think that um, we have ever seen a Batman movie that has just been so perfectly crafted that way, like in a long
yeah.
time. And still, I think like people are scared to try to top that movie because it's so good. Like, bro, ever since Heath Ledger's Joker, we've never gotten a Joker that could top it yet. So,
Uh,
yeah. So, yeah,
that
definitely.
movie was definitely an event, like
Right.
a cultural event.
I know. Yeah. Wendy Girl was talking about how her favorite movie is Gettysburg because all the actors played their parts so well and all the work they did in making this film with the respect that they did. And I think I remember seeing Gettysburg. It's been a long time, Wendy Girl. I'm gonna check that out tonight after tonight's stream. Um, is that movie like the movie Glory with with Matthew Broderick, like the with the Civil War movie they did? Is it kind of like that? Because I think I remember that movie Gettysburg, but I can't remember exactly. But
I'm not sure. I haven't
yeah, I
seen
don't know.
those.
Let me check real quickly on my phone. But yeah, let me just check real quick. It's because like you've said some really good movies, like the one Chronicle movie. I'm definitely gonna check that out,
Sounds so good,
dude.
so
That
good.
sounds so good. Let me see. Oh
But
yeah,
I'll watch that again tomorrow.
came out 1993. Okay, yeah. So it has Richard Jordan, Martin Sheen, Jeff Daniels is in this. Holy crap! Sam Elliott is in it. Man, it's got a pretty stacked cast. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out tonight, Wendy girl. Like, that looks pretty awesome. So thank you. All right, dude. What's your top movie tonight?
Okay, top movie. This pick is gonna be a little lackluster after everything we talked about. I didn't know what to put for my last one, so I thought What movie have I watched the most? The most ever. What movie can I probably
Oh no.
quote every line, every line into it?
This is a biggie.
Nacho Libre, bro.
Nacho freaking
Nacho.
Libre. Are you kidding me? Nacho Libre
Nacho
got your
Libre,
number one
homie.
spot. That's awesome.
Jack Black, man.
Round of
Jack Black,
applause, guys.
Nacho Libre. Because, all right, now you gotta hear the story behind this, man. It's not even that. It's not even that crazy of a story. But me and my roommate, shoot, after college, my roommate, we both worked together. Shoot, we had an apartment, freaking broke all the time. We ain't have cable, ain't have nothing. I had my PlayStation, and I think we rented. Oh yeah, you remember Redbox?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, I
One
still
day we
have a red
rented.
box over by
Yeah.
me. Like, I still
Yeah.
got one here.
Oh really? That's
Bro, I
crazy.
still have one at the 7-Eleven down the street from me because they didn't come and they didn't take it away. So it still
Is it still
stands there.
functional? No, it's just
No,
sitting
I don't
there
think it's still
dead.
functional, but
Okay.
like it's still there. Yeah.
But yeah, we rented Nacho Libre, and I think we just forgot to take it back. And I think it was like a week or whatever. And we was like, well, I guess we just own it or whatever.
Yeah.
And we just never took it out the PlayStation, and we left that PlayStation on so long, bro.
Right.
And we left the TV on, and we just had that movie on loop. And I mean, like, we were coming in and out. Like, this is a time in my life where like all we did was like work and like go out and party and like drink and play beer pong and hang out with people and stuff. And like, I swear we left that TV and that PlayStation with Nacho Libre on for months, if not a year or a year and a half. It was stupid long. Like, I remember when like the power went out because of a storm or whatever. A couple times. It was a long time. And the first thing we would do when the power would come back on, oh, get Nacho back on, get Nacho. Like friends would come over and they'd be quoting it too. And we would sit down and quote the
Dude,
whole
it's such a good
movie.
movie.
Like it was a little ridiculous, but it was funny, bro. Like our whole friend group, anybody that hung out with us knew that movie. Like it was a thing. It was an inside joke. Yeah, we kept that going for. It had to be over a year, man.
Dude,
And then I
so
remember that
like
PlayStation burnt out, and then we wound up getting another PlayStation and put Nacho back in there, bro.
and I got a whole new one,
Like,
and then you put Nacho back in the
we had to, bro.
bowl. That's
I mean,
class.
we would use it, but like whenever we were done gaming or like whatever, like
Yeah,
put Nacho. Somebody walk into the room. If Nacho wasn't on, put Nacho.
dude.
Like
So
it was
like
great.
so it's one of those movies, dude. Like I still watch with my friends all the time. Like just there's
Yeah.
still like. I think I was watching it like 2 months ago with my pal, and he came over. He was like, "Do you want to watch Nacho Libre again for like the 50th time?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, hell yeah, let's watch some Nacho." It's so,
It was just dumb, fun, lighthearted. I love Jack Black.
oh my god,
Like
so
it don't
good.
make no sense, but like the quotes are so good, and so many people would come to hang out and just be like, and had never heard of it or never seen it, and be like, "What? You never heard of Nacho Libre? You gotta watch
Right?
this," Or people would come by and we'd be doing something random like playing beer pong in the kitchen, and then
Mm.
they would be hearing it and they'd be like, what is that? And you're like, oh, it's Nacho Libre. Like,
Nacho.
so good.
But
But yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it's just another guilty pleasure pick of mine. It's dumb fun.
so let
I
me
didn't
just
pick it for the
mention.
top spot or
Don't you
anything, but yeah.
remember his sidekick in that movie? So I posted a
Yeah.
YouTube short of Nacho Libre, and so you need to check it out. It's pretty good, but there's a scene
Oh,
from that
really?
movie where like
You're like, get that corn out of my
right,
face.
yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah, that scene. And so that character and like his whole sidekick, that scene where he first attacks Jack Black and he tries to get all the chips
Yeah.
from, and so my
The
friend till
cheese.
this day still calls him the Chip Goblin. It's because in the whole
uh,
movie he has these like terrible teeth, and I think he eventually like gets them like repaired or
yeah.
something.
Uh,
So yeah, just me and my friend would always watch that movie, and then my friend would be like, "Oh goddamn, that Chip Goblin." taking all the taking all the
the
orphans'
cheese.
chips.
The cheese.
So,
Ah, such a
but
good movie.
yeah, Miss Garcia, like, oh yeah, it's such a good movie. My friends and I love that movie. But you know what? I
Like
think I'm gonna
I
break
love
the
Jack Black.
rules for
Yeah.
tonight, and I'm gonna like do a just a pop quiz type of thing because Windy Girl mentioned that she loves the movie Forrest Gump, or she brought it up, and like I
Oh
didn't
yeah,
want
Forrest
to
Gump's a
say
good one.
this, but that was almost gonna be my number one pick tonight,
Oh yeah, Forrest Gump. I can almost quote every line of that one. Shoot,
dude.
that's probably the most quotable one of
Oh
the most quotable
yeah,
movies
dude,
ever.
Forrest Gump is like my favorite movie of all time. Like I
That
not
one I
only
probably
like,
saw live.
jeez,
Oh, go ahead.
no, like it's just like for me because I have disabilities, and I know like obviously Forrest Gump has obvious disabilities too. It's just always been such a motivator for me. Um, but yeah, like it just there's so much about that movie that is just so heartfelt. It's just so well made. I mean, it's like one of those movies that I can just watch and I just love watching it. So like there's a lot of movies where I watch and I'm either watching them just for fun, like what we talked about with Nacho, or there's movies that you just turn on and you kind of turn your brain off. But every time I watch Forrest Gump, I just really just enjoy watching the whole movie. So, um, I'm gonna put you on spot. If you had to choose another top one movie, what would you pick?
Another top one. Dang, I
Right?
was thinking about it all night. I was like, I should have put another one on here.
I know.
Um, you know what? I think okay, going back to when I was talking about Chronicle, I
Mm-hmm.
like the movies that were shot in like first person, like somebody's holding the camera. I'm gonna throw Cloverfield on my
Oh,
list. I
dude,
did want to put Cloverfield
you
on here too.
know, so okay, you're gonna hate me. It's because I still have not watched Cloverfield yet. I still
That
haven't
was all
watched it.
good.
I
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Honestly, those two movies I would recommend out of anything on my list. Let me look again real quick. Yeah, out of anything on my list, I would recommend you watch Chronicle and Cloverfield.
Yeah.
Cloverfield was the first, I think, the first movie that I watched that
Mm-hmm.
was like shot in first person. Well, that I liked, other than like I think I saw Blair Witch before that or something.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah. Blair Witch is
Cloverfield,
good.
yeah, but Cloverfield was I felt like I was part of the movie kind of. Like I felt like I was the guy holding the camera. He was kind of funny, relatable, all the other actors, all the other characters were, doing their thing, but I felt like, oh yeah, I could see myself in this situation, and it started off regular, like the main characters are I can't remember. It's been a while. I think they're at an engagement party or some kind of party,
Mm-hmm.
and then disaster happens, earthquakes, and you have no idea what's going on. People are running through the streets. At first, it seems like riots, and then you don't know if it's like a terrorist attack or something. And the whole movie, you don't really know what's going on. And but it's shot like good,
Yeah.
like you don't know what's going on, Not like a, oh, what the heck is this movie about? I don't know what's going on, but it's like you're in it. Like, oh shoot,
Hmm.
like run, guys. Oh, if I was there, I'd be terrified too. What is that? Oh, explosion. But then, come to find out, sorry, you haven't seen Cloverfield, but I'm sure you're familiar
No,
with the
dude, it's
Cloverfield
fine if you
franchise.
spoil it for
Okay.
me, bro. Like I
Yeah.
don't care at this point
It's
because it's been so
more it's
long.
more about it's more about experiencing the
Yeah,
movie anyway than it is the story. But like, come to find out at the end, it's like
Whew.
aliens, like giant aliens coming in, and it's like a twist at the end, like but it's over before anything even gets done or solved or anything. It was just
Yeah.
the whole movie was basically like, "Hey guys, engagement party! Boom! What was that? Oh, run! Oh, hey, we gotta get my girlfriend. She's in that building. Oh, we're close to the building. Oh, another explosion! What's going on? Is that an alien?" Done.
Bro,
But
bro, they should
it's
have
an
called
experience. It's
Nacho
a roller coaster
Libre to
ride.
save the day. That's what they should have done.
Yeah, he would have saved the day.
So like I know there's different ones. So are you talking about the very first one they made, or are you
The
talking
very
about
first
okay,
one.
so you're
The
you're
other
not
ones
talking
are
about like
vastly different too.
yeah, you're not talking about like Cloverfield Lane, right? Because that's like
Nah,
vastly different, I think.
that's vastly different. That it ain't even shot the same way. But I think the whole connecting points between all the Cloverfield movies, because I think there's been three or four, maybe just three. But it's all like the connecting points that I see is it's every movie is something, and then it turns out to be aliens.
Yeah,
That's the theme of each of the movies.
but it's really interesting how you brought up the Blair Witch Project, and I've kind of mentioned this before to Windy Girl, and like I'm gonna make a whole separate episode talking about spooky movies, because I just couldn't put like all those good horror movies into one list for tonight, so I'll definitely make another video of that later, but um
At that stuff
you
like
brought up
down,
the Blair Witch, and
nacho.
so the Cloverfield came right after the Blair Witch. So Blair Witch started out the whole like found footage movie craze going on, and then
Mm,
Cloverfield was like,
found footage. That's what it's called.
yeah,
Okay.
Cloverfield was like the second official big Hollywood blockbuster movie that had like found footage type stuff. So yeah,
Okay.
and I remember when
Good
it
to know.
came out, like I remember the trailer, like there was something with like I don't know, like either it was like aliens or something, and like I think it had New York City. I can't remember, but
Yeah.
I might be thinking of the date after tomorrow. But yeah, I just remember that being such a big thing, like with the found footage movies, and
It was a nice surprise to me because this is back when I did used to go to the theaters a lot with my friends and like not watch trailers and then just go pick a movie off of the poster there and just be surprised
yeah,
with what we
like
decided,
that's
which was
something I
fun.
wish we had nowadays. Like, dude, like just that with streaming, you don't get that. Like, bro, there was this whole like art to like going to the rental store, and the only thing you had to pick a movie off of was like the box art. Like, dude, you don't
Hmm.
get that nowadays.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure. That experience is definitely going with the times.
right. But yeah, it's just that we talked about so many good movies tonight. I was actually really surprised, like some of the movies you had on your list. Like no hate, man. I was kind of thinking like that you were gonna have mostly like animated movies or have a bunch of anime, and that's why I texted you last night. And I'm like, hey, bro, it's cool if you have a bunch of anime picks, but like you surprised me, dude. You had a lot of good picks tonight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you had a lot of good varied picks too. A lot of good classics, man.
Yeah, and that's why it was really hard for me to make my list because I like a lot of classic old movies and I don't want to bore people with like a list of just old classic movies. So I try to like put at least some in there that are like more like with the times and stuff. So, and like I said, I've been so slammed, dude. And like, I know you've been super busy too, but I just really want to just say, and I want to just express how thankful I am that you took the time to do this with me tonight because I
Oh
know
yeah,
how
bro.
busy you've been
It's
too,
fun.
man. So yeah,
Oh yeah, bro. That's all fun, busy though. Like I said.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this is fun. I appreciate doing this with you, and I feel like I got a pretty good idea of like who you are from the movies you picked out.
Yeah, you could definitely
Yeah.
tell. Like, I like a lot of old vintage stuff too. Like, I try to like be modern, but still I pay a lot of like respect to like older movies. And you can see I put the stream in like black and white today because I love black and white stuff. Like the
Yeah.
next music video I'm doing for my friend of mine. We were just talking today. He told me he wants me to shoot it in black and white, which I thought was cool. So, yeah, I've always been a big fan of that type of stuff. But yeah,
That
I
is
just
neat,
want to thank Miss Garcia, Wendy Girl. I know Tay came in here at one point. Tay, if you're still here, thank you,
Yeah, thanks,
brother.
y'all.
And yeah, like this was just so much fun. I'm glad we could have just done something very relaxing and chill today. I know we've been doing a lot of gaming together, so this is a
Mhm.
nice like break from all that.
Yeah, it's definitely fun too. Yeah, definitely fun. And I feel
Yeah.
like I learned a lot about myself looking at this
Oh
list
yeah,
too.
you did,
See some
bro.
patterns.
I feel
Yeah.
like we both went through this like huge journey tonight. Like we were learning about ourselves, learning about movies that we haven't watched in years. Like it's just the fact that you had Aladdin on your list was great. Like I'm so glad someone had like a Disney pick on here. Like yeah, and then of course like you had Nacho Libre, which is great. So
Nice goofy pick.
right. Just so yeah, Miss Garcia and Wendy Girl, like if you haven't seen Nacho Libre, go watch Nacho Libre. So
It's definitely funny. You
yeah,
don't even have
definitely.
to pay attention. Just leave it on in the
Oh
background.
yeah,
It's a
yeah,
perfect movie
definitely.
for that.
Uh-huh. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna end it here. Thanks again, and hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night. It just means the world to me that you guys stopped by to watch. So, thanks again. All
All
right.
right. Thanks for hanging out, y'all.
All right.